All right, everybody, welcome back. LevelMDiecast, bringing you part 2 of my Timber Den haul. This is where we sort of kind of get weird if you're a mainstream collector, because we're going to start focusing on stuff that is not current, dated. As you read, we are going to be covering Zee Toys, aka Zylmex, Kidco, and I got 2 Road Champs and 1 Kenner that we will end with. Kenner is especially nice. Can't wait to get to that guy. Kicking it off, though, this is a Zylmex Corvette. This guy is in ridiculously good shape. He is Hong Kong base. I absolutely love these wheels. These are my favorite wheels that were ever on Zylmex models. This guy's pretty good. The Stingray version. This guy's not mint, but he's very, very good condition. Definitely not something you find in a dump bin for sure. Looks pretty good with the silver and the black. I definitely like it a lot. This guy does have opening hood. See if we'll get the hood to stay open. There you go. Does have nice chrome detail down in there for the engine. Looks pretty good. It's a relatively large opening piece, which is okay. But it looks good down in there. Looks good. Looks good. This model is, longer and slender than you'd find a Corvette in real life, but that's okay. That's okay. Still looks pretty good. These are the base Deets. 80 Vet. Hong Kong base. Looking very, very good. That is metal base as well. So, pretty nice piece. Definitely one of my favorites. This one is definitely not as good a shape. This is a Fun Trucking Courier. This is the Ford Courier, the custom Ford Courier. The plastic chrome piece that was part of this casting, I think, was warped before the casting was assembled. You can see the back bumper is real tweaked. The smokestacks are tweaked out. So, but other than that, this model has survived relatively well. Stickers look pretty good. Does have all 3 stickers on there, which is nice. It is silver. Window looks pretty good. Definitely not mint. Definitely not mint. The chrome plastic parts are pretty worn out. But the model's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. There was some definitely way better decos they did for this particular guy, but this one's okay. Looking at the base Deets, there you go. Your Fun Truck and Courier. This is Hong Kong base as well, and it is a metal base. Looking pretty good. You can see just where the smokestacks and the plastic are just. I think it was tweaked before it was even assembled. So, it's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Not fully weird, just a little weird. Got a nice one here. This is the Benz. I think this is a 280 Benz. Is in pretty good shape. Pretty good shape. The chrome foil print on the wheels has been worn out just a bit. Basically just has like black wheels now. The model is in pretty good shape, though. Looks pretty decent. It does have opening doors. We'll show you that in just 1 second. Chrome front and rear trim pieces on there. Looks pretty good. White interior. It's not a bad casting. It's not a bad casting. Like I said, the doors do open. So, it looks pretty good. Pretty good. It's a pretty nice model. It would be way better if it was in much better shape, but, you got to get what you can get when it comes to Zee Toys. There is your base. Hong Kong as usual. Metal base. Looks pretty decent. Looks pretty decent. A lot of chrome worn off. A lot of chrome. But not too bad. Not terrible. Not terrible. Another pretty good one here. The custom van. I actually have one of these guys in pretty much brand new shape. This one's definitely not in a brand new shape. The wing on the top is plastic. The rest of the casting is metal. It's a pretty decent version. It's really good for finding in a dump bin, I think. Those are stickers on there for the flames. But it does have chrome in the front. I believe this is based on Chevy van, I believe. It's a pretty decent one. It's got exhaust coming out the sides in front of the rear tires. It's kind of an interesting piece. It's back in the day. It's back in the day. Not the kind of stuff you're going to see nowadays. Taking a look at the base, metal base, Hong Kong. This is the Van Killer. Not too bad. It's all right. It's all right. The wings a bit tweaked. But yeah, this is 100% a Chevy van for sure. 100% a Chevy van. Construction. Got a little beat up mining truck here. Still dumps and all that good stuff. The wheels are all intact, although the axles are pretty bent up. Considering this is meant to be played in the dirt, it's actually in pretty good shape. It's just chipped up. Doesn't really look like it's been in the dirt that much. It's a pretty decent model though. This is kind of what everybody based their mining dump trucks on back in the day. They pretty much Hot Wheels, Matchbox. Everybody had the similar casting. Like I said, this guy does dump. One of the hydraulic, quote unquote hydraulics on the dump are broken on this guy, but he does have one still. So we get one to work. Rolling around here, it's just holding up on that one single hydraulic in there. You can see the other one is broken. So kind of a bum. They are actuated with plastic in there, so they kind of move like a hydraulic. Just truck, Hong Kong base. Again, this one is plastic base. P380 is the number on the bottom. So pretty good version. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Another construction one. We got a front end loader. Guy looking pretty good. Chipped up a little bit, but the scoop is still in the front. That guy does have some dirt on him. He's been played in the dirt for sure. This one is also kind of actuated with some hydraulics, I guess you could say. It's actually two pieces of plastic within each other to create just a little bit of friction in there. So that kind of works like it's a hydraulic unit. This particular casting was a ripoff of Tomica. They all did this similar type of open top front shovel type thing in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and even in the early 90s. Looking at the base here, flipping it around. There you go. Zylmex. Most of them have Z on there, but some of them have Zylmex. It's pretty good. It's very, very difficult to see on the axle there, but it is Hong Kong base as well. And then, of course, the bucket does come up. And there's the hydraulics in there. And then, of course, he dumps. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I got two of these Ford Coupes. And they're in ridiculously good shape. Both of them. They are both Hong Kong base. They are both the same color. They are both the same trim. However, they are different production runs, I guess you could say. This guy right here, the interior and the top piece on there are molded as one solid top piece. You can see on this one, they are molded together as well, but it is not one solid top piece. It's actually meant for the seat to sit down a little bit lower. So they modified that particular piece during its run. Other than that, there are no differences between the two. It does have the rumble seats in the back. They do close. Pretty nice piece. Windshields are there. The steering wheels are there. Front headlights are there. Grills are there. Always a good thing when you find all the pieces. Looking at the Dietz. Zylmex Ford Roadster. Hong Kong base. Both of them are the same. P325. So, pretty nice. Pretty nice. Another construction one. This is from the Mighty Max, or Mini Max, I should say. This is one of the better ones that they've did. It's quite intricate. There's not really any Dietz on this one because there's no really space for Dietz. It does have Caterpillar on it, though. This is the Road Grader. This does have a moving blade that does rotate side to side. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. This is a relatively fragile model. Pretty nice to find this guy in this condition. This was not in a dump bin. This was in a tray when I found him. So just disclaimer. If this was in a dump bin, he'd be really broken. And then this guy does have the pivoting axle in the back, which is pretty nice. Just like the railroad graders do. There's just a hinge in there. So pretty nice piece. Pretty nice piece. Like that guy. Super van. Probably one of my better super vans I've come across. Most of them, the windows are just completely broken out, and the Super Van logo there on the side is just non-existent. So this one's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. The casting is just whatever. It's a Super Van. It's nothing fancy. It's just kind of the style from back in the day. Not a whole lot to say about this particular guy. There it is, the base Super Van, Hong Kong. So I've been pretty lucky with the Zylmex load. Ford Country Squire. I have one more of these. This is the second one I found. This one is also in very good shape, just like the first one I found. This is a pretty rare piece to find. This guy does have an opening, cargo spot in the back. Little tailgate opens up, which is pretty nice. Usually that's always broken off if you find these guys in dump bins. This guy is in extremely good condition. It's not mints, but it's very close. It does have chrome on the front. It's kind of funny because this car in real life is a big vehicle, and they just had to shrink it down so far to make it fit in the blister back in the day. I just thought it was hilarious. It's kind of funny. Looking at the base Dietz, there you go. Ford Country Squire, Hong Kong base, Zylmex metal base. Most Zee Toys Zylmex are metal base, which is pretty nice. One that is not metal base is this. This is the Ferrari 365 GT. There is nothing fancy about this guy. There's no tampos or anything. I think this guy originally had a sticker on the front, if I remember correctly. But that sticker is obviously long gone. This one's probably the least, interesting of all of them we've seen so far. This guy does have a plastic base. It is Hong Kong still, though, so not too bad. I think it's kind of interesting that they made the base textured. Not really sure what the point of that was, but they did it. They did it. Another pretty decent piece here. This is the Trans Am. This guy's been a little loved, but not overly loved. Axles are a little bit bent. A lot of tampo worn off. The windows are pretty good, though, which is nice because the T-top section there usually always gets broken off. This guy also does have opening doors. There's your Screaming Hot Bird on the front. It's a pretty good casting. If you get one of these like in really good shape, they actually look pretty decent. Like I said, door does open. Looks pretty decent. A little dirty, but it came from a dump in. What do you expect? Taking a look at the base, of course, metal base. P362 Hong Kong, of course. This guy is not spun. They're like pins for the assembly of the model, which is kind of interesting. Kind of changes up here and there. Another one real quick. This is the Morgan. The windshield is there, but the windshield's loose. Again, nothing really fancy to say about this guy. It's pretty decent, though. It does have the nice wheel on there that I like. Right-hand drive as well. Ridiculously good shape. The fact that the windshield's on there is a huge deal. Huge deal. That is the first thing that breaks off because it's just not attached very well. Looking at the base Dietz, Morgan plus 8 Hong Kong again. Pretty decent. We're going to get into a slew of police real quick. These were all found together, so they were probably purchased or played with together at some point in time. This is the tow truck. Still has the hook on the back, which is pretty nice. Still has a complete light bar, which is extremely nice. It is pretty beat up, though. The decals on the doors are stickers. The black and white of the actual truck is printed. This is based on a old school Toyota truck. Japanese Toyota truck, if I remember correctly. So it's a pretty nice piece. I'm just glad that the parts are there. Usually you're missing most all that stuff. Base Dietz tow truck. There you go. Hong Kong as usual. D58. Not too shabby. One of the nicer ones for sure is this Plymouth Fury. This guy is in really, actually shockingly good shape. I know it doesn't look like that on the camera, but I promise you. The stickers on the doors are pretty decent, which is a rarity. Does have full light bar, which is an extreme rarity, and still has the front and rear bumpers, which is also a pretty extreme rarity. Plus, this guy rolls. The axles are not bent. Looks pretty decent. The windows are pretty decent. Even the decal on the top. Yes, he's got a bunch of scratches and stuff on him, but it's pretty decent. This guy does have opening doors, which is pretty nice. The fact that he's got both doors is also a pretty good deal. Always like that as well. Looks nice. Looks very, very nice. Of course, you have suspension on these Zee Toys as well. There's your base Dietz Plymouth P345 Hong Kong, of course. Metal base, of course. Looking pretty fancy. Last police model. This is the Ford Transit van. This guy is pretty nice. He is missing the light on the top, unfortunately. But the rest of the deets on there are prints, so no worry about stickers or decals or whatever. It still has all the wheels on it. Pretty good. It's definitely worn out. A lot of the chrome off the front is worn off as well, but at least the front is intact. So, got Ford on there as well. Looks pretty good. This guy does have a opening feature. The rear door does flop open, and then you can slide it up so it stays closed up. You can see in there just a couple of interior details. Nothing to ride home about, but pretty nice. Looks pretty good. Base Dietz, there you go. Ford van, Hong Kong base again. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. You Chevy guys. This is one of the best castings you'll ever see from Zee Toys. And unfortunately, this one's pretty beat up. And there are some broken pieces on it, but this one is still pretty good. This step side, it is missing all the deets on the back. Most of the back bumper is gone as well, but at least all the wheels are there. It does have side exhaust on it. Front end is intact, a little worn out, but it is intact. Looking pretty good. And there's a lot of Chevy guys out there, a lot of Chevy truck guys, and especially right now, Chevy trucks are hot. Hot. This one looks pretty good. Does roll. So that's pretty good. Base Dietz, this one's been very, very loved. You can tell it's been run over concrete and dirt a lot in its life. It is Hong Kong base again, but pretty good. It's pretty good. I really like this one. This is definitely something that you definitely customize for sure. I think would look pretty good. All right, but this is the absolute best one of the entire bunch. I am shocked. I am shocked that I found this. Not only did I find this, it has all the opening features intact. Check this out. This is the U.S. mail truck. And this thing is ridiculous. I've never seen one of these in real life. I'm not saying it's rare. I'm not saying it's, billion-dollar item. I'm just saying I've never even seen a picture of these, let alone see one in real life. And I actually came across one in a tray. It was not in a dump bin. Disclaimer. It was in a tray. But it has two sliding doors, one on each side, plus the rear door opens up. There's no quote-unquote interior, although the seat for the driver is molded into the base. There are stickers on both sides, and the rest of it is printed. The fact that the stickers are there, the print's there, the sliding doors are there is absolutely ridiculous, and they're not broken. So your sliding doors, they just slide right open. A little difficult on the plastic. Get them to cooperate a little bit. You got to slide them exactly perfectly straight. Get that to slide on the bottom there. There we go. It slides right open. You can see the seat in there. The other side slides open as well. You can see the seat just molded into the base. Just an interesting piece. Interesting piece. And then, of course, your back opens up as well. It also slides up into the top. Just like the rest of them, you can see right through your model. This is such a cool piece. Metal base, Hong Kong, U.S. mail truck. Bumpers are not broken or anything like that. Just such a cool piece. Just, oh man, it's just so cool. It's just so cool. That's just so cool. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, we're going to move on to some Kidco. We're going to start out with a new one-ish. Because this one's pretty much in brand new shape. I forget what kind of car this is supposed to be. I think it's a Monte Carlo, I think. But look at this guy. Everything looks good. I mean, the crappy stuff you see about the print, that's just production problems right there. Just production issues. You got some white print that's, kind of bled through and whatnot. This guy's fantastic. Chrome is excellent. Interior is excellent. Light bar is there. This guy does have opening doors. Huge opening doors. They did this model for, burning key cards or lockups as well. They did a bunch of different versions of this particular casting. It's been modified a bunch of times. But the good thing about this guy is he is Hong Kong base, 1981 Kidco. Absolutely ridiculous shape. Look at that. Look at the wheels. Look at the wheels. I don't think this thing has ever been run on anything abrasive in its whole life. This is just crazy fine. Crazy fine. Crazy cool find. Again, I do have one of these Broncos. This is a pretty nice piece from Kidco. This guy does not have any stickers, missing all the stickers, so it's just green. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I paid a little bit for this guy. He was in a tray. Paid a couple bucks for him. So, but he's like really good shape, other than the fact that there's no stickers. Does have all the good details of the front and rear bumpers, all that good stuff. It's a pretty nice piece. It's a pretty nice piece. Very clean. Very clean. Must have spent most of its life in a tray for sure. There are your base Dietz, Hong Kong as well. Little rust on the axles, and he's definitely been run over rough surfaces before. But whoever played with these back in the day definitely took care of this one for sure. I got a duo here. We're going to go over real quick. This is the Camaro, or I'm sorry, the Corvette. And he's pretty beat up. There's no interior, but the window's falling down. This guy has definitely seen better days for sure. Does have an opening hood. It's a pretty decent casting. It's unfortunately, like I said, he's destroyed for lack of better terms. It's not bad though. It's not. I mean, at least all the pieces are there. I mean, you could theoretically take it apart and fix the window and stuff like that. The cool thing about this particular version, he did have the fatter wheels on the back, which was pretty nice. It does scrape on the ground because those little suspension pivots in the middle are worn out. But this is 1979 Kidco Hong Kong base, which is pretty nice. Now, if you're like, oh, I want to know what that would look like if it was in better shape, well, there you go. I found one in much better shape with the same deco. Unfortunately, this guy does not have the fat tires on the back, but everything else is the exact same. Same base and everything. 1979 Kidco Hong Kong. Just in really better shape. Like I said, no interior on these guys. That's why the windows are black. But there's no problem with that because it does have an opening feature, which is pretty decent. Pretty decent. So, not too bad. Not too bad. A much better piece is the Camaro. So, yes, I did have a Camaro. I was getting ahead of myself. This is the second gen Camaro, something like that. T-top looks pretty good. Does have print on there, which is pretty nice. Giant steering wheel inside of the car, just enormous steering wheel, just giant. This guy looks, he's in good shape. There's some chips on him here and there, but he's in pretty good shape. Does have the grill and stuff in the front, which is pretty nice. Does roll around very nicely. Does have a little bit of a stance, I guess, to it with a little bit of a squatting rear end. Does have opening hood. Hood doesn't open all that far, but some good details in there. It's a pretty decent casting. Kidco, 1979 Hong Kong. Again, always looking for the Kidcos. Always looking. Here's a pretty nice one. Chevy Blazer. Now, this casting has been used a few times. It's a pretty decent casting. There's been some changes to it over the years. But the basic casting stayed the same with the sunroof and the opening doors. It's pretty nice. It does have a much lower stance to it, I guess you could say. It's not meant to be a huge 4x4. Front end is pretty good. All those parts are intact, look pretty good. Does have the light on the top, which is very nice. I'm very happy about that. This guy does have opening doors. That looks pretty good. Orange interior. Rear bumper is intact. A couple of cracks in the window, but not horrific. Not horrific. Obviously super chipped up, but he rolls perfectly fine. Does have suspension to him as well. Taking a look at the base Dietz. This is later run Kidco. This is a Macau base. So obviously 1981. It's pretty nice though. It's pretty nice piece though. Another nice piece Absolutely just cherry minty is this Corvette Mustang. I'm just losing it today. It's got 289 on the hood with the ponies. Looks pretty good. This guy is, like I said, absolutely cherry. This was in a tray. Again, I didn't buy this in a loose dump bin. This kind of stuff, you're never going to find this shape in a dump bin. But this guy is in really good, just awesomeness, I guess. There's not a whole lot to say. I just don't find Kidco in this shape. And that's kind of what makes me happy. He does have opening trunk. The problem is the trunk just doesn't want to open any further than that. And I don't want to push it too far because it's very thin metal. And I don't want to break it for sure. But we're going to look at the base deets. Kidco 1979 Hong Kong base. Super brilliant chrome base. Looks fantastic. Pretty nice, pretty nice. But even though that was a really, 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 really good model, that is not my favorite one. As a matter of fact, this is my favorite Kidco pickup of the whole haul. This Countach. This is a later run. I believe this was 81. This is also going to be Macau base, I believe. We'll take a look at that. This is just a fantastic pickup. You know, stuff like the Mustangs and the Corvettes, those are pretty common. You know, the Countach and stuff like that, definitely not as common. Definitely not as common. And this guy is in really, really, really good shape. Definitely not mint, but in very, very, very good shape. I'm very happy with this piece. Looks pretty good. The proportions are definitely not there, but it doesn't really matter. The interesting thing is that red on the top there, that is a decal. So it's very interesting that they put a decal on there. The rest of this is print. It's kind of interesting. Oh, you know why? It's because the wing is plastic. That's why. So the wing was added separately. So taking a look at the base. Indeed, Macau base. Kidco 1981. With some really good detail on the base, though. Look at those tires, though. This guy has just not been rolled around at all. So pretty nice. Pretty nice. We're going to do a couple of road champs real quick. We do have this Ford Model A. This is some old school road champs. The wire wheels. This is such a good casting. This is actually very similar casting to what Ertl did. They're very, very similar, but they are not the same casting, but they are definitely very similar. This one is done up as a soft top, basically, to throw the top down. The Ertl one that they did was a hard top. Plus, this guy has those nice wire wheels with rubber tires. Does have the rumble seat in the back, although there's no interior on the back side of the rumble seat, but there is detail down in the bottom for a seat, which is kind of a weird thing. This guy does also have opening doors. Just get those to slide open real quick. There we go. Very nice hinge on those doors as well. Just a really nice casting. It's a little bit big. It's a little bit big. Not enormous, but just a little bit. But he's in really good shape. Does have nice suspension on him, which is really, really nice. Taking a look at the base deets. Road Champs Model A. Again, Hong Kong. JRI Inc. This is old school Road Champs. This original Road Champs, as like I would like to put it. This is a pretty nice piece. I'm really happy with this piece. Really nice. Now, we're going to jump ahead like a bajillions of years for Road Champs. This is just wicked out of left field. This is the Chrysler LeBaron convertible. It has a convertible top and it has opening doors. The casting proportions are way off. They're way off. But who makes a LeBaron? Like, who makes a LeBaron in 164? Nobody does. Nobody does. This guy looks pretty decent, though. Does have nice grill in there. Does have the details for the headlights. Just ridiculous. It's just a ridiculous casting. Does have suspension, of course, which is pretty good. The top does come off. There you go. To make it a convertible, looks pretty good. Interior looks pretty good. Got white interior, and then, of course, your opening doors. That looks pretty nice. I always hated the wheels. The wheels are terrible. The wheels are just garbage. But Road Champs did some really weird stuff. And I absolutely love them for it. And unfortunately, that's probably one of the reasons why they're not here is because they did some really, really weird stuff. Take a look at the base, though. Of course, this is China. This is way later. Still JRI. Just, you know, it says 1984. This is not as old as the one we just looked at. This is just base Deets. It's it's still metal based though. Still interesting model. Still interesting. So, all right, now we're going to go on to the very last model. And this is a Kenner. This is a Kenner Fast 111. Now, not only is it just a Kenner Fast 111, this might be the best Kenner Fast 111 I've ever found. And not because of the condition. Condition is crappy. And I probably have 24 of these black Firebirds. One of the most common Fast 111s there were. No. This is probably the best Kenner I have because of the plate. Take a look at this plate. I'm pretty sure this is the first time this has ever happened to me. That is a Colorado plate. That is 100% state of Colorado plate on the back. Here at Level M, we're in Colorado. That's just cool. That's just cool. Period. Hands down. That is just absolutely wicked cool. I'm pretty sure that's the first time that's ever happened to me. Actually find a Kenner Fast 111 with the Colorado plate on there. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I would have paid like $50 for this thing. I would have. But nope, I paid 50 cents for it. So 50 cents well spent. There is the Colorado plate. Love it. Absolutely love it. There's the base Deets. Hong Kong base. There you go. So we're going to roll out with that Kenner. Again, we got more stuff coming. I told you guys it was going to get weirder. We're going to get a little bit weirder, and then we're going to kind of level out. So appreciate it. Thanks anyways. Don't forget to subscribe. Chime in if you think this stuff is just way out there. Let me know, because we love this stuff here. We do things differently here at Level M, and I appreciate you guys being a part of that. So we're going to catch you next time. Appreciate it. LevelMDiecast saying, peace.